Hi guys, welcome to Bunny's Designs. A bit different today. I'm going to be working in Timeless Heaven, Timeless Beauty Special $4.99, and it says 40 beautiful portraits and flowers from Momo Girl. So, and I've got some pencils. And the reason is I went to visit a friend and she's not well. So I decided to stay and do my stream from here. And of course, I normally have everything with me, but because I was going to race back, I didn't bring anything. So popped to Tesco's and bought this colouring book. And I've seen them before. They've got lots of others. I've seen the other ones, not this particular one. I think I've got 3 others. So I thought, well, we'll have that. And I think that was $4.99. I think these were £1. And they're in the children's section. So I bought some pencils and I've been loaned a pencil sharpener. So I thought, let's do colouring in an emergency. So if you forget everything and you don't have anything, or if you suddenly find yourself in hospital, you can always find a cheaper alternative to your favourite things. I'm going to struggle a bit with the pencils, but that's fine. So, and again, I've only got 24 colours, so that's probably going to be quite good for me to restrict that. So, just let me sort myself out. Oh, hi, Darla, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Just bear with me a second. I'm just going to see if I can rejiggle everything. I need to, I think, if I just type this one, see if I'm on the right one. I think that's the one I'm on now, but I pressed the wrong button earlier, so hopefully that should be fine. So let me see if I can get chat up now. I had chat before, didn't I? That's what we want. Oh, thank you, Darla. Yes, so what I thought was I've got a couple of other ones. I think mine's like a gothic ladies are in the first one, a long time ago, one of the first ones that I bought. And they are single-sided. Just take that out of the way. So I'll do a really quick flick. But as I say, I wanted to do something. I had nothing with me. Now, I do have a couple of videos that I wanted to do. Oh, they look quite nice to those pencils. I think that end one's a black one anyway, so I'm not really bothered about that one. And that one will be the white one. So, and I'm not really bothered about that one. I'll try not to destroy the box. So that I could, that's better. So when we take them up now, obviously we've got a black and a white at each end, which I'm not going to use, but I'll see what they look like. They're not going to be brilliant, but they're not going to be too bad. They'll be fine for what we want. So you do get 40 for $4.99. So again, I thought that was quite a good price. Oh, hi Chantel, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? I'm a little bit early because I was going to go home, so, and hopefully that's the right angle. So again, there's some really, that's a pretty one, that one. So again, I see some really pale colours for that one. I love the little checks, the little checked scarf. Skirt. I haven't seen this particular one. Mine was the gothic one, I think, but they've done animals. I think they've done all sorts in this particular set. We'll have a look at the back. So if I turn that like that, that might be better. And move my phone. Excuse me, frog in the throat. The eyes are really pretty. So I've got chameleon pens in some of these because I'm thinking about not so much the smaller spaces, but the these bigger spaces here. I always have a bit of a think of what I'm going to use. And because these are single-sided, of course, they lend themselves to thicker markers that you can't normally use. So that's quite a nice one as well, with the 3 little birds. Oh, hi Barbara, anybody else popping in? Welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm just having a quick flick through this colour book. Oh, there's some poppies there. And of course, because it's $4.99, if you want to do it in the paler colours and the watercolours, which I quite like working that way, you could always afford to buy the book again and use markers, so you could do each page differently. Again, sometimes I see really strong colours, and others I see really, really soft pastel colours. And normally I wouldn't work with pencil. Oh, we've got some, I was going to say berries, but I think they're grapes. My phone won't behave itself. That's better. A little white bun. So actually these folds were really nice to do. And of course when you're using chameleon pens, you don't have to use them as a light to dark blend. You can use them as an ordinary marker. So I think these are probably going to be quite soft colours, of course, because we've got white doves and we've got white bunny rabbits. So actually I think this will lend itself to pastel colours or pale colours. So we've got 4 on the same one. Yes, they are quite good, aren't they, Barbara? Yeah, they're large scale. And this is a typical A4 size. But they had a couple of colour books in Tesco's. It's only a small Tesco's, it's not a very big one. You see, this one reminds me of the, what do I call it? What do we call it? The Peerless and the Hydrus, going from the really strong turquoises. So, and this paper, it's like thick photocopy paper, so it's not very thick, but it's not very thin. It's what I would say about 100 or 120. So normally 75 to 80 is ordinary photocopy paper. Very pretty, very pretty. Very pretty designs, and something completely different that I'm used to. So again, I'm out of my comfort zone, which is sometimes not a bad thing. So we've definitely got 1 or 2 to do. And again, we've got skulls on this one, so we could probably go a bit stronger. But today with pencils, I'm not sure we're going to get that. Don't think these pencils will blend. They are only children's cheapies, but it's still nice to sometimes, as I say, this was because to show you that just because you don't have anything with you, don't think that you have to start expensive. Or if you think you might want to have a go, go to the supermarket and buy a book that you like. I mean, there's no point buying a children's book that you're not going to like, but buy something. And you can find them for about a £5. And some children's pencils, and have a play, and then you've not wasted very much. And if the worst comes to the worst, you can give this to a child. or to an elderly relative to have a go. And then we've got some little monsters. Oh, that's quite a pretty one. They are huge flowers. And you can do two things. You can make your own colours up and go for your own version, or you can Google and look for certain flowers, because they're actually quite well drawn. You can recognise quite a few of these flowers, which is most unusual. So again, it's your choice how you want to do it. I think I like most of these, which again is unusual. And it does say there are 40 to choose from, so that's quite a lot of colour pages. Yeah, that looks like a wild rose, that one, I think. And she has a snow bonnet on. I think that's a snow bonnet. And then we've got a a small child with a pussycat. And the eyes are really beautiful as well. They've really gone to town on the eyes, and they've done the same with the girls. The eyes are really lovely. So very well drawn, actually. I like this one, I have to say. And again, there's another one with the eyes. They're really well drawn. Apologies for the nails. Managed to do them today. They look like snowdrops. So again, we can recognise the flowers. So it is quite well drawn. And then she's got an owl, and they're daffodils. So again, you can recognise the flowers. I think that's a daffodil. Yes, daffodils. So obviously that's going to be a yellow. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it could be. So I think I may start at the first page. We may as well, because I'm just going to wade through. I did like one or two of them more than others, but my golden rule of starting at the front of a book and working through isn't really working at the minute, because I'm using colouring for therapy. And I have a new fur baby, because I'm at my friend's. This is Holly. Holly is asleep by my feet. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I think that's Connie. I think that's Connie. Holly is the... Yes, that's Connie. Holly is... what is Holly? Holly is a Springer Spaniel. So she's almost as dippy as Alfie, but we love her. So if I put that there, hopefully we should be okay. So it tells you here about the illustrator. It says, Momo Girl is an illustrator who loves animals and nature. Her unusual pseudonym comes from the name of her cat, Momo. Momo Girl enjoys creating beautiful, ethereal portraits with an otherworldly feel. Her ambition is to offer relaxation escape through the colouring of her work. And there is a blog, which is blog.naver.com. And join our colouring community, like, follow and share, Facebook, Colouring Heaven. So if I look on the back page, so Colouring Heaven subscription, and there's dragons and girls, and I think I've got a couple of books, so there seems to be quite a few now. They've been out quite a while, and they were through, I found them at Tesco's, because again, it was the first place I bought my colouring books. So it's a lovely book. As I say, it's not the thickest paper, but it's not the thinnest. So we probably would have I'm going to have a go with the watercolours. And I do have, I had lots of things planned for my show, but it was important that I came to stay with a friend. So And I took everything with me yesterday when I went on a trip. So I get the impression that she's going to be a blonde girl. And let's see if I've got an extra bit of paper so I can scribble. Important to have a bit of... So we've got 3 yellows here. We've got a peach colour, looks like skin, and then we've got like a yellow ochre, a tangerine colour and a yellow. So I'm going to take those 3 out. I don't think these are going to blend. I have no idea. I don't think that's the white one. Oh, they're quite creamy actually, so they're not going to blend, but that's fine. That's fine. We may have to make her a mousy girl then. Just let me get my pencils back in the right order. I think I'm going to tip them out. I wasn't going to do that. I'm going to tip them out. I'm going to take the black and the white away because I don't really use those. So there's 2 browns and there's looks like a fawn colour. Oh, that's quite nice for a highlight. And then we've got a brown there. And that's a russet brown and a darker brown. So we can definitely have a play. And if we take that one, we've got that bit of a highlight as well. So we've got 1 or 2 browns if we need to. Again, I'm not used to working with pencils, so this is going to be quite nice for me. So I think I'm just going to put, and I'm not probably going to press on too much because and I'm not sure how long I'll be able to do this. And I am not a pencil girl, so forgive me all your lovely pencilists that use all those. One thing I always like to do, if I can, is get rid of the pencil line. I'm just a little bit obsessed with trying to get rid of the pencil line. As children's pencils, I don't think they will blend. And I don't have the strength to grip and hold. But I just want to do this as a therapy. I hope that makes sense. Do I need to zoom in a bit? I need to zoom in a little bit. And again, because it's not a proper pencil paper, then we need to be careful because we don't have a tooth. So a couple of layers is really all we're going to get, really. Has anybody got any questions? Oh yes, Barbara, colour for therapy too, yes. We had art in the Abbey yesterday, and a young gentleman joined us for art in the Abbey. And he thoroughly enjoyed himself. And I love the fact that he was talking away to the other lady that came, who is a retired lady, so it's quite nice that a younger person can talk to an older person. And I took some shells, so what I'm going to try and do and remember is to take a photograph of what I'm going to be drawing, and then put it up on the Facebook group so that if anybody that wants to colour can do that, and then draw what we drew yesterday, which was a shell. Sorry, not yesterday, on Tuesday. But Art in the Abbey is for people to come to Selby Abbey on a Tuesday afternoon for a couple of hours, and uh-oh, I made a mistake there. That's the bow. Oh no, that's the hair, that's fine. So this is working quite well, because as I say, normally I don't do pencil. So I've got to remember not to grip, because sometimes you end up like this. I've got to be careful, just scratching the surface, that's all I'm doing. Because I wouldn't be able to do this for long if I did anything else. And then using the darker one, we can go back in there. And again, this is the therapy bit. This is not getting realism, not photorealism. This is just scratching a little bit of colour. But not rushing it, just enjoying the process. Has anybody got any questions? Oh, hi Denny, welcome to Bunny's Designs. I don't have a website yet. I'm still trying to get my daughter to get one going for me. But the Bible journaling is Bunny's... oh dear. And that was the other thing. Oh, see, it does hurt my hands a little bit, this. This is what I was going to draw out today, and of course because I've had to leave everything at home. No, let's see if we can go over that. No, we can go over that, but remember it's not get a little bit. They are quite waxy, these, so for children's crayons they are quite nice. Again, I'm not really a pencil-y girl, but as long as we keep that highlight, we should be doing okay. Bear with me a second. I think it's called Bunny Designs Bible Journaling. I think it is. Because of my headache, I've been behind with everything. It's completely thrown me just recently, so I'm behind with almost everything. Now, perhaps that was the wrong shade for this one. Now, obviously, if you have so many pencils and you're quite used to them, then you'll know which pencils to use straight away, but I don't have that. I just want to get a little bit of a highlight. And I think these pencils were £1, so you can't really expect too much. I think the contrast is probably too much for this. We've either got a blonde girl or we've got... So I think that yellow's wrong, so I'm going to put that one back. Just see if I can knock that highlight back a bit. So she's not a blonde, she has a highlight. Slightly better, did you say? There's just too much of a contrast between the lightest one and the darkest one. So we can get about 2 layers on this paper. So again, it's like photocopy paper and printer paper. It'll just give that little bit. But it's managed to just give us the difference between not colouring and colouring, and anything that can do that is fine. So if I can just knock that yellow down. Then we can have a little bit of a and bring some shadow. But because there's no tooth, this isn't pencil paper. We haven't much of a tooth, so we're quite restricted. So we've managed to get the hair back. Oh, thank you, thank you. There's sometimes, because my friend was saying, oh no, you can't do that with your show. And I said, well, actually, it shows that you can colour even if you've left everything at home. So actually, I said it will make a good show, if that makes sense, because I have got my, but I will make a video, I think, and then do some more of it next week. I found I sent off to Paper Chase for some more of those, my little book of watercolours, my original one, which was in the photo book. And I thought they were more expensive, and when they've come, there's 100 pages in there. It's the same book, but it has a thicker spine, so of course it's absolutely perfect for what I want. So so that was going to be the show today. Now, whether I get back in time to do it later, I'm not sure. Because I have another friend that's just had a knee replacement and she's not well either. So I'm making my magic soup. When, I think I've told the story before, when Amy, I used to go to Benidorm with the children because I could be warm there and I could walk. And hubby hated it, so hubby never went. And when the girls were 6 months old and 2.5, because there's 2 years and 2 days between them, I went off for 2 weeks to Benidorm. And of course, Amy, who was the toddler, now it's quite funny because the baby was fine, but the toddler, for some reason, had got a bug and was really ill. And they called the doctor out and she came every day and she was really sick, but she also wasn't taking any liquids. And they'd said to me, well, you know, really, if she's no better, she's going to have to go to the children's hospital. And, of course, Benidorm is the bottom of Spain, is it? The bottom of Spain? Yes, it's on the Côte de What's-it. And, of course, Madrid, the children's hospital was in Madrid, which is in the middle of Spain. And so that would have been quite impossible for me. So I remembered years before reading one of my many cookery books about an invalid broth. So I left the toddler and went to the market, took the baby, went to the market, and I bought some fresh vegetables and some chicken. Now, we'd been vegetarians for years, but desperation overruled anything, and I also wanted to make my daughter better. So I made, I cooked the chicken, and then I put the juices and the vegetables in a pot, and I boiled them up. And she had a teaspoon, and she wasn't sick. And then she had another couple of teaspoons. And the next day she was having a couple of tablespoons every few hours. And within 2 days, when the doctor came back, she could not believe the difference. And she didn't have to go to Madrid. She stayed, and within 3 days she was better. So I remembered this, and every time my children, I used to say, I'm going to make my soup, and they called it magic soup. So when the girls weren't very well, they used to say, Mummy, would you make some magic soup? So my friend's not very well, and she's not been able to eat for quite a few weeks. So I've just made her my magic soup. So, oh, hi Suzanne, welcome to Benny's Designs. I've got some fur babies, but they're not my fur babies because I'm at my friend's house. So we have Holly the Springer, and then we have Connie, who was sitting by my feet earlier. She's gone now. Excuse me. So today I bought some leeks, sprouts. I looked up, sprouts were good, cabbage, leeks, cauliflower, courgettes, and then I got a soup mix which has got onions, carrots, and these are whole. They're ready to cook, ready to cook and peel, because all the goodness is in it if it's fresh. And leeks, I got sweet potato, I got ordinary potato, turnips and courgettes. I put some garlic and ginger in there, and I boiled it up. And she's had 2 cups so far, so that's really good because she's not been able to have any kind of liquid at all, and she's obviously gone off tea, so liquids are really... So I've got a timer. When my timer goes off, I have to go get her some more soup. Because I have a big stick now, and she has to have her soup in an hour. Has anybody got any questions? Oh, do you not... What leeks? Yes. If I just unplug here, I'll show you what the soup is, and I'll show you what it looks like. And what happened was the toddler and I should say... Oh, no, sorry, not the toddler. Samantha was a baby. She was 6 months old. Let me show you what we put in it. I got some... That's for my lunch tomorrow. I got some baby turnips, sprouts, and I put one of these in it. So leek, onion, swede, and normally they're a quid, so that's quite good to make a soup with. I put garlic in it, organic garlic, onions, leeks. These are leeks. Very, very good. Onions are very good as well for helping your digestive system. I cut the inside of the fresh cabbage and put that in there. I put some bouillon powder in there. Boiled it all up. Now it goes quite soft. Now my children have this when they're well. It's all in there, but it's the liquid you want. When you're poorly and you can't eat, you need to drink the liquid. Even if it's a teaspoon or a tablespoon, that's the magic liquid. Don't give anybody that's poorly the veg. The veg is brilliant, just as it is a casserole with some cheese on top. So we were living on that, and then the invalid or the poorly person that can't keep anything down if they're sick drinks this liquid. If you're not a vegetarian, put some chicken in there and boil the chicken up. Make sure it's cooked. And that's the protein. And you do need some protein in there as well. So that was the soup. Let me just put that over there, and then I'll take you back and I don't make you sick. So I had a bowl of those vegetables, and I would normally put that, but that liquid is magic. And boil up some kind of meat if you're not a veggie, and you want a vegetarian protein in there. And that is a magic clear soup that even if you're sick, and you can't keep any liquids down, even a teaspoon, and what it does, it's to get protein and vitamins and minerals in your system to get your immune system working, and you need protein for energy to make yourself better. So again, I'll be making that soup on my other channel, which is Bunny's Disabled Designs, health, happiness, fitness. And when I say fitness, it's going to the gym and sitting in a jacuzzi, warming yourself and moving and stretching, which I haven't actually been. I've been too poorly with my silly headache. So I'll show how to make that soup. Now, normally I have to get people to cut the vegetables up. So as I say, in a little while. So actually that's not too bad, I don't think. Again, you can either do all the, that's a headband, so that's hair, I think. You can do all the highlights first if you want to. It's probably maybe a better idea, and then you could put that pencil back. Has anybody got any questions? Oh, bye, Darla. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. So if anybody knows of any other, it was in the Victorian times, it was called an invalid soup. But as I say, in desperation, and again, I wouldn't have thought it would be much good, except for I used it on Amy when she was a toddler, and it worked. There are other recipes called mutton broth and things, and I just Googled it, and I wasn't really impressed with the Google, but I'm going to stick with mine, you know. And I say, even though we'd been vegetarians for years, if it's a case of going to hospital, having a poorly child abroad, and keeping to being veggie, unfortunately, that went out the window. But you can make it. And I'm going to Holland and Barrett, which is a health food shop we have in England. I'm just a bit lame at the minute, so I couldn't get there for a vegetarian protein, because there's a lot of goodness in that soup, just in the clear liquid. But of course, it's the protein that you need to help the bones and the stomach and the healing process. And obviously when you're not well, you need to boost that up. So that's not just in the vegetables. And now there are a lot better things than there were quite a few years ago. So I shall be popping to there and asking the ladies or gentlemen, what's the best vegetarian protein I can put in the soup. But when my children were growing up, if they didn't feel well, they used to say, "Mummy, I don't feel very well, would you make your magic soup?" And it became a tradition that most of the winter and autumn days at school, even in summer though at school, I always had that vegetable soup on the hob when they came in from school, even during the summer months, because they just love soup. Put cheese, the grated cheese on top, and homemade bread and butter, and that was tea, because of course when they used to come through the door they were starving. So, and of course you can vary it and put what you like in it, because that's the beauty of any soup. But it worked really well. So because it worked and I knew it worked, I've got it for my friend. And then another friend of mine has had a she's had a knee replacement, and she had it done yesterday, so she's still quite sore, but she's also quite sick. Whatever they've given her has upset her stomach. So she can't eat it either. So I shall be popping round to her house tomorrow, and I shall be making my magic soup for her. So I'm going to turn into this magic mad woman soup lady. Oh, put one on for me, Suzanne, because I think I've broken the kettle. I can't go anywhere without breaking things. I picked up my friend's kettle. I went, oh, I can pick this kettle up because I can't make a drink at home. And I thought, oh, this is brilliant. I turned it on and it's not working. So, whoopsie, I've broken the kettle. I always break something when I come out. So thanks for joining me, guys. I hope everybody's all right. As I say, on the Bunny's Disabled Designs, there will be that soup, and I shall make it live. Ah, sorry, hand. You see, I've only done that much on my wrist, but it's fine. It is what it is. It's fine. So I shall just finish the hair, and then I'll just go check on my friend, see if she's all right. Because we've actually managed to get her up. She's been in bed for weeks. We've actually managed to get her out of bed. So I put on my bossy nurse. Nurse Bunny is out today. Now, I don't want to go over that because it's not going to be dark enough. So what I'm going to do is use the dreaded black word. I'm going to use the very dark that I don't normally use, to see if I can just get some lights and darks. So let's just have a little bit of a look under here and see what happens. Yeah, you see, if you just put a little bit under there. Now I haven't got a nice flat facet, which I like. So I've got some lines, and again, maybe I should have put something underneath, but I'm not used to using pencils. But if you've got a couple of, you see, you can just make that look that it's behind. And I did colour that one in actually, and I shouldn't have done, but never mind. So we can do a little bit of shadow and follow the hair around, and then really create some shadows in there. They've got to remember though, it's not a black, it's a dark brown. So I thought people might find that interesting, but obviously not on this channel for the soups and the magic healing soup. So the clear liquid is easy to digest when you're feeling extremely sickly. It's also getting liquid into the person, because obviously they'll be off their usual liquid, whether it be tea, coffee or whatever. And it's important to get liquids in to flush all the thing out in the first place. And the goodness in the soup means even if they just get a tablespoon, they are getting some goodness. So it works quite well. And just a little bit. Now you can do as much or as little as you like. I wasn't going to actually mess about with this one, but again, the artistic side puddles out. And as long as it's still enjoyable, then that's what we're doing it for. Now we can get a bit of a shadow on her flower. If you really want to start. So now she has a shadow on her flower, and it can be a deeper shadow or it can be wider. I thought that'd look quite nice. Oh, hi Katrina, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Oh, Suzanne says she has a magic pot to make her magic soup. Well, I wouldn't have thought it would work, except for it worked for my little girl in Spain, so I'm sure everybody else has got lots of other things. You can do it with any meat. Again, I just thought I would use the same as I used before. So this is fairly quick. I think this peachy coloured here, this one in the middle, looks to be more of a skin colour. And of course, because these are for children, yeah, they've put a peach in there, a skin colour, so again, I haven't, because I've not used these yet, they haven't got a flat facet, so we've got that sharp, pointy, scratchy thing, but it won't take long. And again, I just want to take off the stark white. No particular shading, but I can go in there later. Just a bit of a soft. Just a bit of a soft. Oh, hi Nicotina. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Apologies for not knowing your name. My brain has fried again recently. It's definitely not a happy one. If you type in your name, darling, I'll call you by your correct name, if that's all right. So if anybody's colouring anything or working with pencils, the reason I don't do it is it just hurts my hands. That's one of the only reasons. I do love my Derwent watercolour pencils as a pencil. I don't tend to need to scratch as much because of course they're water based, so they just need to stay off the lips because we only get one colour, really, one layer. So again, stay away from the eye because then we can keep that lovely highlight on the white of the eye there. And then we can go back in there. 2 layers, of course. Not quite sure a young girl like this should have bags under her eyes, but there we go. She seems to have got bags. Oh, hi Robin, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Yeah, I haven't been at it long and it's in here, and in here it's starting. I only do it in desperation, but I actually am quite pleased with that. It's quite, and you can see the just taken the off-white from there, so that's quite good. Yeah, I'm not really, again, I don't know whether you maybe do that maybe for a little while to be different. And what worries me is that in a few years, all the colorists that use pencils will, because obviously we love doing it, will get repetitive pencil strain. RPS. I've just invented RPS. So again, it's not, I really do not like doing things in pencil for that reason. Oh, sorry guys, I've missed something. Oh, right, Danny, I need to disappear in a couple of seconds. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Robin, it's starting to kind of give it a bit of yeah, it's starting to give a bit of and I don't take painkillers, so of course doing the therapy instead of that, so of course it defeats the object. Oh, Suzanne says the pot is from Trinidad, her homeland. Her mum-in-law brought it back from Trinidad, at her homeland, and it's handmade. How awesome! I've been watching Floyd on India because I'm looking into really, really healthy foods, and I won't use as many spices because too many spices would upset me. But I'm looking at really healthy things, and the pots that they were finding, the bread pots. But what I am going to have to live on is flatbreads. So again, that's what I was looking at, different things. And again, that's going to be in the show, Bunny's Health, Happiness, and all that. And of course, I've missed all this hair off, look. So I'm going to put that to one side because I can put that back. That's the peach, and I shall get these three colours back out again now. That's what I was going to try and do, different position. Because I did try to draw yesterday on the train, and it was so bouncy. I was looking at an app that you can take a photograph and colour. So, of course, I got a couple of the stained glass windows at the Abbey. Because, again, drawing all those is going to really take it out of my hands. But I'm going to have a go. See, I don't have as much control doing this, so it's going to have to go back to this way. But I'll finish the hair, and then I'm just going to go see how my friend is and see if I can persuade her to have a drop more soup. Although she has done very well, I was expecting her to have a tablespoon, and she's actually had a couple of small mugs, so that's really good. So I've turned into a nurse again because I used to look after my mum when she was poorly. And yesterday, no, the 8th, it's 43 years since I lost my mum. Goodness me, it seems like yesterday. The 8th of January. Right. I'm just going to go see if my friend's okay. Oh, here's Holly. Hi, Holly. Hello, Holly. Let's have a fur baby. This is a new fur baby. Hi, Holly, darling. Hello, darling. This is Holly. Hello, darling. She's Potty. She's like a female version of Alfie. Absolutely bonkers, bless her. So I shall leave you with that, guys. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Just going to have a look, see how my friend's doing. So I shall leave that there because, you know, I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hi guys, welcome back. Right. Oh, I hope I'm frozen. I hope I'm frozen. So, I was doing that little bit of hair there to make it darker. So I think actually, because it's further away, I think I might just go straight in with the dark one. Oh, hi Melody, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else popping in? I just had to go check on my friend. So we've got a Holly poddling around, and somewhere there's little, oh my goodness, what's her name? Holly and, oh, I did say it earlier. Oh my goodness, Holly and, Holly has a thing about, they're both rescued animals. Connie. Just bear with me a second, guys. I'll be back in a second. Oh, hi, Malvina. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. I shall be back in a second. I just have to go. Oops, no, I didn't mean to do that. So, sorry, guys. So we're having a quick, oh dear, sorry. Cam. Holly. There's Connie. Hi, Connie. And there's Holly. Holly's the, no, they're gone now. Holly. Hello, darling. Holly is a Springer Spaniel. She's potty. Hello, darling. You're famous. You are. You have an outfit. There is an outfit cam. We've now got a Holly cam. And there's Connie. Connie. So I've still got some fur babies, even though they're not mine. Sorry, guys. Let's just to be a bit careful with my cable. Right. There we go. Oh, I'm using these children's Go Create because I've stayed at a friend's. I didn't get back home to stream because she's not very well. So I said I'd sit with her this afternoon so her daughter could go out. And I didn't know what to do, so I went to Tesco's to buy the vegetables to make my magic soup. And I saw this Timeless Beauties. And because I've seen the Colouring Heaven ones before, there's 40 portraits. They were £4.99, and it's not bad paper. It's not brilliant, but it's like thick photocopy paper. So I thought I'd use that and just have a day of, yes, you can colour without buying expensive things, or if you want to have a go and not sure that you might like it. Again, I'm funny with pencils because my hands hurt most of the time, so I'm not really sure about that black. It's a bit too dark. So I wanted to prove that, yes, we can colour when we forget things. So, you know, if you end up in a hospital, you could say to somebody, just go to a supermarket and buy, one. Or if you're out somewhere or you forget anything or you end up somewhere where you didn't think you'd be, you can still do a little bit of colouring. So, sorry guys. Oh my goodness, there's no difference than being at home. Sorry guys. So there's no difference being at home. could be the postman. I better just check. And again, if you go behind a highlight, it'll make it lighter. And then go next to a dark. And it's a case of just puddling through like that, I think. Now, I am going to take these highlights off because they're not going to be as bright as up there. Even though it is a highlight. Hopefully that made sense. Yes, Robin. Yeah, I did tell you. See, it's my fault. I did say she's a female Alfie. She's a Cocker Spaniel. No, she's a Springer. She's a Springer. And Springer Spaniels are just as balmy as Alfie. Just as balmy as Alfie. Poor little Connie. Connie's just diddy, and she can't door. So if you shut the door, she jumps about. So, yeah, we actually thought we'd bring Alfie, but of course he doesn't play nice with other dogs either. But of course, we decided that if Alfie and Connie got together, it wouldn't be a nice, small, delightable. It looked absolutely gorgeous, was the puppy, but it wouldn't be nice for anybody, because yeah, they've both been neglected, they've both been upset, they've both been badly treated. So Connie's from a rescue centre as well. Here she comes. Hi, Connie. But she loves everybody. So I'm quite pleased with that. I've taken that back, so I don't know if I like it. So if I just do pinch and zoom, see if we can pinch and zoom. You can see that, you know, there isn't a highlight much on that side. So of course that means that all the light's coming from this side. Now, you don't have to think of that. It's just happened that that's how it's happened for me. Oh, Barbara says that looks just like somebody. They're very, very good. It's the eyes. They're very, very kind of realistic. And again, sometimes I like that with a drawing. Sometimes I like to have that. Now I've got to think about her dress, and she has 2 bows, so I'll probably do the same colour bow. This looks like a little, although the flower is different, it reminds me of a little wild rose, but might have a red tint, I think, on the yellow. It could be yellow. These are the same. And I know what, it's not a daisy. I don't think it's a daisy. That one. And then she's got a white collar on her dress. So I think she could have a red dress. We'll do a red dress. So this one is a red. So when we look at these pencils, these again are just the children's ones, but again there's 24. So we've got a good array. Of course, the black and the white are over there, although I did use the black to make a shadow, and I will be making some more shadows. There's a flesh colour in there. There's an orange, there's a red, and then there's a kind of a pinky red. Then we've got a pink purple, a purple blue, a pale blue, turquoise blue, and then a dark blue, a light and a dark green, and then 2 olive greens as well, and then a grey, and 4 browns. So it's actually quite a good little set. So where's Connie? Connie's asleep now under the table, so we may have some peace. So I'll move up there a bit. So that looks like that's an arm. I think I'm just going to do this. That could be flesh, actually. It could be a short-sleeved dress. So again, I'm just using the side of the pencil because it's the most, and just gently. And when you do it gently, you're not kind of upsetting, you're not kind of digging in. Now, if I was going to use pencils all the time, I would put a piece of card or something underneath, because when you draw like this, pencils tend to go through paper like this. But again, I am not a pencil girl, so all your wonderful colorists out there who use pencil, look away now. And I'm just going over it with one complete pale, so that's going to allow me to so I may have to cut the video short, because my friend actually is perking up a bit and she's talking, so she hasn't been wanting to talk for ages. So I will put some videos out before next week, and next week I do have, you see, even though I'm going in different directions, which is not normally a good idea, because I'm doing it so lightly and getting away with it. And the idea is that you do this and then we can go back in so that's an arm, but that's a dress, I think. So has anybody got any questions, guys? Yes, two chubbies. Yes, so you see, we can just start very carefully, and this is the same colour, so we haven't gone to a different colour yet. We obviously want a little bit of shadow. Around there. So we haven't done very much with that yet. Oh yes, Suzanne, but you wouldn't, because it's dry. It's so painful. I won't be able to do anything tomorrow. And again, apologies, I am not a colourist with a pencil. I can use pencils. It's like I say, you know, I can do anything. But I'm in so much pain for so many days after. It just is not worth it. So again, this is where you can think, you know, do I want to do all this? Dark. So I've built up just a little bit, and you know, you can do more and more and more if you want. And bearing in mind, these are children's cheap £1. I think they're either £1 or £1.20. These are children's cheap pencils from the children's section at Tesco's. Go Create. And they're actually quite creamy. There's a little bit of a You see there's a bit waxy, there's a nice shine on that. Oh, that's okay, Suzanne, don't worry about it, it's fine, it is what it is, it'll disappear. So I'm going back to this flesh colour. Again, quite impressed that they've got a flesh colour in the children's one, so it's quite nice. Just double check that that is the flesh one, I think it is. Yeah. So I want to leave that lovely white colour. Oh, actually I've missed, look, I forget. Here, I've missed this bit here. Isn't it funny that different houses and different fridges make different noises? You know your own noises in your own house. It's very strange being in somebody else's house, somebody else's kitchen. But again, what we can do is, if you just put a little bit of a shadow there. And then we'll just do this arm. Again, it gets rid of that horrid So I'll do a little bit of research. And somebody sent me a most beautiful cat, which is on the table next to the camera, ready to do. A most beautiful cat colouring book, but there was no message with it. So I don't know who sent me that, but whoever it was, thank you so much. And it's an artist who's drawn his cat. And it looks like a black and white tabby, but because it's got such a big floppy tummy, it actually looks like Betsy. So I think we're going to call it Betsy and do it a tabby colour. So I'm not sure what to do with the bows, because we've got red there. We'll do the flowers next, and then that might help us decide. Put that red where it goes. And again, it's always a good idea to keep your pencils where they go. So my favourite here, and again, that was there and that was there. So this is what they called light to dark. So we've got white, pale yellow. They've put a peach in that one. Then we've got yellow ochre or a warm yellow, orange, a red, like a vermilion or a cadmium red, pinky red, pink, purple, a reddy purple, or a pink purple. Then we've got a purple, a blue purple, pale blue, turquoise, dark blue. There's 3 greens actually, because this is a light, a medium and a dark. And then we have an olive green, a grey and 4 browns and a black. So it's a very good set. If you could get all these in any colour of 24, and I've just sent off for one which will be coming, and I shall show you what those colours would be. That would be hooker's green. And then there's light hooker's green and dark hooker's green. That's pea green or emerald green. I'm not really into emerald green, but that's a pale green. I don't think that's sap green. I don't think that's a sap green. That's an olive green. So there's some quite nice colours there, as I say, and very waxy. For children, not bad at all. But I wanted to show that you could do that. Has anybody got any questions? As I say, and for £1 from the Tesco's, I thought that was quite good as well. Tight Yorkshire Lass. So I've got some pinks and purples. So we've got an orange. I think we might. I've got 2 oranges here. So let's have a bit of a scratch. It's always a good idea to have a little bit of a They're very, very similar. And that was the slightly pinkier red, so we'll leave that one alone. And we have these two. And I'm quite tempted. Look, there's an orangey one. I like the red one. The orange, I think I quite like the middle of these flowers. And then perhaps a little bit of something in between to give a bit of a contrast. They're in your what's it melody. So watch this space. I shall do a video. They're in your little surprise when I get them, but they've not arrived yet. Some colours, 6 colours, but there are sets which are cheaper to buy, and they also include a green and a couple of browns. And Winsor & Newton do quite a few, so I was looking at that because again, it's sometimes cheaper to buy them in a set. But I've just sent off for the 24. And I think from that's my favourite. And that was the 24 that I've been using before. But you can't get it on Winsor & Newton's site because they've stopped doing it. So it's taken me ages to track it down. But they are full pan size. And I really like that. There's a couple of videos, I think, and there's 24, but they are full size. And I really like those. I think that was the flesh one. So I think I'm going to do this, maybe a little bit of flesh on the end. Just to keep that away from being just white. Which you can see there's just a little bit of something on each one, and I think that's quite nice. That I had intended on doing it dark orange, but I actually kind of like this. So if I do all those, I think they're the same flower. But I'll talk about watercolours next week when I go through the sets I've got. And I'm doing my little, I found, and I'll show you in a second. Just finish this bit off and then I'll give my hand a rest. And again, because I've done that now, I don't think I want a white bow. But I could have, because now I've got colour. And we'll put some nice green behind there as well. And then those little petals will pop out then. Again though, this is gripping pencils, which is not ideal if you've got pulley hands, but it's just given that little bit of colour. I bought some, what did I buy? I bought a pan set. Let me use my phone. So the best watercolour set I like, but they've stopped making, but you can still get hold of it if you're clever. Is bear me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Winsor & Newton, and they are one series, which is very, very, very good quality. I think this is it. And this is what I would think is the best colour range. Oh no, that's, oh dear, why did I click the wrong one? Just give me 2 seconds. I couldn't find it for ages. Oh, look, strange fridge turning itself on. That's a set of 24, bear with me, it won't be far away. And these are full set, this is a full pan set. And the reason I like it is because it has the right amount of colours. There's a fair amount of colour in there, and I looked at hundreds and I couldn't find it, and I was quite tempted with another, then realised, well no, this is the one that I want. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So this is the one, and you've seen it on my show. It's the Winsor & Newton whole pans, and I've had this one out, and it's got my favourite amount of colours, very similar to these pencils. It's a classic Victorian turn of the century impressionist colours, and because of that, because of it's been so popular for so long, that would be my favourite set for anybody doing watercolour in colour books. So I hope that made sense. Let's see if I can get my... Oh, sorry, Loretta. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Oh yes, hi Connie, yes it is. So this one is what I think is perfect, and they are large pans, so they're about as big as my thumb. So that is a fairly decent size. Now next week I'll go through those because I've got a new set. Found one set especially for Melody, because Melody asked me about the colours, and that's the one here. So you can see there's a light yellow, there's a yellow ochre, there's orange, there's an orange red vermilions in there, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, there's purple, there's French ultramarine, cerulean blue, there's indigo I think in there, then they've got burnt umbers, and then they've got siennas, there's a brick red which is brilliant. Brick red is for the castles that I do, foxes, anything that's a red brown. Then there's Payne's grey, black and white. So it's a very, very good set. And of course, then remember, you can mix as many of these together as you want. So that is my favourite. It's Cotman. They are not professional, but they're as near as damn it. I've been using them for years. Some artists do use them. Their pigment is so good. If you blink, that's probably the difference between a Cotman from Winsor & Newton and a professional watercolour. They are literally a blink difference. The pigments are fantastic. There's quite a few videos I've done with this. One of the Kirby Roseanne pages with the fox, and also I think I did the castle as well in the brick red. So I will be using that a lot more, but I wanted to make sure I could get it. And then when Melody was asking me about the colours, I said this would be perfect, because you don't need anything else apart from those 24. Very similar to this children's set. The colours are still there. You've got the dark browns are the umbers, and the reddy browns, the two reddy browns, they are siennas. You've got light and dark green, we've got a grey, we've got a black and a white, we've got orange, we've got pink, red orange, we've got orange red, we've got 2 or 3 yellows. Absolutely perfect. That is the perfect set, and it's here. And if you look at any vintage watercolour sets, you probably will find almost exactly the same colours. And if it works for everybody else, it's going to work for me in my colour book. Because the reason it is like that is they're a traditional pure colour, which then you mix to make other colours. So we do have one olive in there. There's a sap green in this set. There's hooker's green. But by mixing some orange with those 3 greens or 4 greens, we've got more olive colours. And that's so I might do a little mini series about mixing just from those 24. Originally I have 6. And then normally, traditionally, the next set is 12, but without breaking the bank, I think 24 is the maximum you need. And then you learn about colour, you learn to make your own colours, and it's the colour schemes which fit together, if that makes any sense. So hopefully that made any sense. But as I say, that proves that set's quite a good set, purely because it has 24 good colours in it. And again, I like this set because they are pans, they are full pans, and there's a lot of colour in there. So if you spray, you're not faffing about in a little tiny half pan, which I really gets on my nerves. Right, bear with me a second, guys, I'll get chat back up. Oh, Suzanne says she has the 12 pan set. They are low-end professional, but they're very good. Yeah, they are so good. Oh, hi, Jerry. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Hi, Connie. Anybody else? Anybody else popping in? Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Say hi to me if I've left you out. Apologies. I'm reading chat on my phone. So the reason I got these, okay, these are 19 greens. Yeah, there is... I mean, 19 greens is fine, but it's so nice to make 19 of your own greens, if that makes any sense. Oh, hi, Hessie. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Thanks for stopping by. Connie, which ones? Did you mean those? And hi, Lynn, working and lurking. Oh, we like working and lurking. These are children's pencils from Tesco's. I think they were £1.50 or £1. They did have a set of 12, but again, I'm quite impressed actually of how waxy they are. Oh, I seem to have frozen. Oh, I frozen. Excuse me, a quick slurp. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? See if I can. I seem to have frozen. Let me just see if I can do something. Oh, I seem to have frozen, guys. Oh no! Just put. Yep, I definitely seem to have frozen. Don't know what I've done. Oh gosh. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne. I'm going to lose everybody because I've frozen. I don't know if everybody... Let me see if I'm still frozen. Don't know what's happening. The picture's just not moving for some reason. Oh, goodness gracious. Don't I hate technology? Just when you think it's going to go well. See if that would work. Oh, you can still hear me, but is the picture still there? Hi, Joe. Is the picture still there, guys? Oh, for goodness sake. Don't know why it's done that. So these were from Tesco's, and they were but you don't have do you have some frozen? To know how to do that. Just see if that would rejiggle it at all. I wonder why it's done that. Sorry guys, I've just got a I'm pressing all the buttons I can think of. Unless it might be the internet. No, it can't be the internet. Oh, let's refresh. Oh, I don't know whether you need to refresh, guys. Really sorry. I seem to have hit something. Oh. No, that didn't work either. It doesn't show. I'm trying to, yes, I'm trying, and it doesn't look that. But Connie, even though you don't, if you're not good at mixing colours, it's still fine, because once you touch one colour next to another, you've got two colours instantly. And there really isn't anything to mixing colours once somebody's just shown you the basics. And even with those colours, like this one here, you don't need to mix colours, if that makes sense. You don't have to mix colours. Those 24 are just enough to make a decent page. Does that make sense, guys? The queen of mixing, I don't know about that. Yes, it's your fault, Joe, for saying that. Right, and I don't know what else to do. It could be the internet, but I doubt it. Oh, goodness gracious. Right, I'm going to have to finish, guys, and I'll come back. Sorry, so if everybody could come out of the YouTube and come back, it's probably a good job because the dogs are barking. And I shall be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties no matter where I am on the planet. Thanks for watching, guys. Part 2 should be following shortly.